We are Squawking Dead. I'm your host, Dave Cameo, and on Instagram, all you see is a Zoom account. There we go. Hey guys, let's start over. I'm your host, David Cameo, and you're joined by Rachel Bird on my right, Meg the Geek on the bottom left, and OG Squawking D Carroll G in the house.
I love that intro.
Yeah, took me a while to get this down right, but hey, you're on with us for a second time in a row in 1 week, which is rare. I don't think we've ever done. No, we've done once. We did a episode 13.1 where I shot out a cockamamie episode idea based on no hours of sleep, where I postulate that Negan dies. Yeah, you should check that out. It's unlisted. No, I'm kidding. It's still available.
I'm gonna go do that now. Bye.
Yeah, you should have heard that call too, by the way. It was like, I was like on my way to work. It's like 9 in the morning, and I'm like, Carol, I had this crazy idea.
I totally remember that too.
And she's like, I better just like.
I ducked. I went away from my desk and went to the restroom so I could like take it all in. I really did.
And she's like, yeah, maybe it could be.
I was like, okay, possibly. All right.
I don't know if I have to get a 5150 on this guy, but. That was like a lunatic. That was like our shortest episode too, I think, by the way. So, hey, if you're wondering why you're here for a second time in a row this week, episode 60, we're going to be talking about the SDCC announcements that came out last week. We've got so many bits of news lined up. Hypothetically, this could be a very short episode, but I have no high hopes for that because we're going to be covering every single relevant bit that's come out. We're not going to be announcing every tiny little thing or theory or any of that stuff. Just hard news, stuff that's been personally announced. I'm so happy to see all your special shout-outs to No Sanctuary. We've got Walani. We've got Official Grimes on here. And yeah, that's all that matters, really. I've missed No Sanctuary. My buddy. What's up? So I think I'm actually trying to see if there's anything in the Facebook chat, but I can't see it for some reason. Maybe somebody hasn't said anything. No, there's two people watching.
Not so far.
Okay.
There are. I'm one of them.
Well, there you go. That's both of us. That's all that matters. Okay, so let's go back to my notes. The first thing I actually wanted to cover before we got started is I wanted to actually show you guys. I wanted to talk about the last episode of Fear the Walking Dead, the mid-season finale. There's one thing that we did not cover, and we realized that the day after. We were talking about the tree. The tree that John Dory and Dwight find just before they're like, they're about to miss the plane, and all of a sudden John sees this tree. Now, I stitched the entire vertical part of the tree, and I actually want to share that with you guys now using our handy dandy little live capture system. So let me just get that started, and I will show you what I'm talking about.
Fancy now.
And let's see if this works.
Ooh. Yep, there you are.
That didn't work, did it? Actually, that didn't. You could see my screen, basically.
Yes.
And here's the tree. I wish I could zoom in. Can you guys see this stuff? So if you're reading this, it means you're still here. There's a little ladder, and there's some flames at the bottom, right?
I didn't even notice the flames.
Yeah. Yeah, so this was like, literally the line was about here. Let me actually show my cursor on the Instagram stream so you can see it. Okay.
What is this? We have a new addition.
What do you mean?
Oh, look who joined us.
Tardy to the party.
Hey,
Chris! Oh my God! So Chris isn't showing up on the stream because we have the video capture. So hey, Chris, what's up?
What's going on?
So we're showing people the tree from the mid-season finale of Fear the Walking Dead, which sent alarm bells through my head, and I'm like, stop making me think of Madison. Right? So what did you guys think when you saw this thing? I mean, same thing as me, or?
Well, now I'm thinking Madison.
Yeah, now that you say that.
Yeah, well, Lonnie, those are flames at the bottom right here.
I mean, you know how I've always felt about Madison. Unless I see a body,
right?
I
See,
don't
at
know.
least somebody's on my team.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I'm more on your side than I am on the other, but like I have to act as though you have to give the show credit. They do bury the lead really well. If Madison is slated to come back, they're really bearing the lead, and I admire that, because if she does come back, like at least there'll be a semblance of like a surprise to it. Like for all intents, all the actors are acting like they're in terrible shape at first, and now they're like trying to move on without her, but they have constant reminders of her too.
Well, if she is slated to come back and she actually does it, they're doing a lot better job of hiding it than they did with any other guest star this entire season.
Right. Yeah, like Daniel said, right, exactly. Letting the cat out of the bag for Daniel and Dwight.
Yeah, Isabel.
Like Dwight is an interesting one, because I can see why they would do that, but the Isabel and Daniel thing were so annoying. Mm-hmm. So especially Isabel, I would even say, because like why would you want to disrupt the mystique of who these people are, especially for people who know the comic?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm about to show you something that I haven't showed any of you before, though. Oh wait, so did we get our thoughts out on this tree? Has everybody had their say?
I guess I didn't think it was anything about Madison until you just brought that up. But
what did you think though initially? Like, what? It didn't look funny. Like, right?
Kind of reminded me of the filthy lady, Martha.
Oh God.
God, this is the exact opposite of Martha.
No, because the font is similar to how she used to write. Similar, not the same.
You're right. The writing does look very similar.
Her letters were more curled, but this has still got like the slight like girlish handwriting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
yeah.
definitely see that.
The calligraphy or whatever. Like
look at the R in reading specifically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the Y's because my Y's are similar to that. Like they curl up at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so aside from that, that's interesting that you thought that. I don't know. I mean, I know that if Ashley were here, tear, she would say something. So she actually just texted me, saying she's sorry she couldn't come on the show, but the one thing that she allowed herself to say was #Madison is alive. That's what she said. So,
Oh, it's so good to finally have Madison supporters.
Okay, so here's the image I'm about to show you right now that I've not shown anybody else because the time was never appropriate. Now this is or may be a spoiler. However, given that there was this tree here and there's a similar tree in the trailer, which we will be going through live in similar fashion, I can show this to you now. I feel like it's appropriate. And you may have seen this at the end of April, beginning of May of this year. But here it is.
What
is that?
That's Madison.
Can you read that?
No one's gone until they're gone. And is that a phoenix?
It looks like kind of like an angel, but like also like a raven, like a white raven, like an Amina.
See, I was getting like phoenix vibes, like rising through the ashes.
Right.
Prescient too, and here's the flames again.
Yeah.
Where was this?
Where is this from?
Okay, so I don't know where this is exactly from because every trace of me trying to look this up came out blank. It was there was a TDWC or something like a TDSF or something like that. There's like a source that leaked this image. It was only recently posted on Reddit actually, but that wasn't the original source. I had seen it when it was first tweeted out. So yeah, so that's what this is. So now if you remember the Amina story from Close Your Eyes of last year, the Fear the Walking Dead, the bottle episode with Alicia and Charlie, this describes like Amina to a T. I mean, it's not a raven or a crow.
Was that like a pigeon or a dove or something that Amina was?
Well, yeah, it was actually it was some sort of bird that Alicia and Nick nurse back to health, and then Alicia sees the crow that clogged up the flue in the house that Alicia and Charlie were staying in, and there was like that symbolism too, the reminder of Madison and the story and all that stuff.
This could also be a huge misdirect.
It's true.
Yeah, they could. Yeah,
100%.
I mean, it's hard. It would be hard to kind of say that this isn't, that this isn't part of the set because the trees are similar. Now check this out. So just, I mean, not the trees, but the design, like the fire and all that stuff.
It was just harder to see in the first photo because there's more brush in front of it.
Right, right. But the text is different though too, which leads me to believe that Madison may not be alive. Now look at the writing. If you see the writing, it's not quite the same. Do you know what I mean?
It's totally dissimilar. Yeah. Completely
This is more
different.
rounded.
Right.
Yeah.
This is more, blocky and straight. Now it could be
All
that maybe
caps.
Madison did survive. Maybe we won't see her till next season. I don't know.
That would be one hell of a way to kick off a season.
Exactly. And wouldn't that be the best way to bury the lead? Like to kind of not show her this season, but maybe in season 6.
And they've been talking about her so much this season. It would make so much sense.
Yeah. I mean, I would be fine if they didn't bring her back. I mean, I'd have to be. No, only because the show acts as though she's not going to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
But they kind of did the same with Daniel too, in a slight way.
No one thinks Sherry did that?
Well, that's the thing. I initially did.
That one, yes. The other one, no.
This one, I guess I thought could be Sherry.
This one's Madison.
Because no one knows no one gone till they're gone, except for Madison.
Right.
And Alicia.
Yeah. So that one would have to be her, but the other one could be Sherry.
And maybe even...
Could be Alicia, too. Spreading positive messages around.
No, because in the trailer, you do see Alicia staring up at it, so it kind of looked like she was found it.
No, I mean the other one. Not she was inspired by this one and then began doing this.
Art. Remember in the pilot?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it's possible.
There you go.
Wow, that was a throwback right there.
I mean, I'm not saying this is like a Squawking Dead exclusive. It's out there on the internet. It is rarely shown, though. It's very interesting how that you don't see this pop up everywhere. If you literally take this image and put it into Google image searches, you'll come up with maybe 5 entries. Most, half of them are recent, and the other half are, well, I mean, yeah, and the places that you'll find them are in foreign language, blogs or entertainment, news and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Very interesting, yeah. So anywho, let's go back to our screens, and let me stop sharing. There we go.
What? All 5 of us are on the same. That's awesome.
Whoa, this looks weird.
Okay. Yeah, let me make sure I'm out of here.
Oh, there we go.
And let me get this back on track. Sorry, Instagram. I'm going to do some creative editing later. Okay. Oh, hey, I'm in the center because I'm the head of Voltron. Okay. All right. So we got that out of our system. All right. So the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about is the Saturn Award nominations that we got right off the top. Not a lot of people knew about this ahead of time, but just before all the news was dripping out that day on Twitter, from some really dedicated accounts that I have to shout out now. Walking D World is a world-class Twitter account that earned so many followers that day. Now, Walking D World on Twitter, every post was with the cast announcements, you got their Twitter handle, you got a picture of them, you got a little blurb and stuff like that, who they were playing. It was great, solid all throughout. You got Undead Walking live tweeting as they were there. Every little bit of announcements that were coming out, faster than the Walking Dead account, faster than AMC's account. Phenomenal job covering SDCC 2019. But I wanted to talk about the Saturn Awards because this kind of came up over the course of the day before and during the day Friday, just before all the announcements. Now, for those of you who don't know, because I didn't, Saturn Award nominations are they're presented by the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, Horror Films, and it honors films, television, and home media releases created by Donald A. Reed in 1973 to validate films in these genres as they were underrepresented in mainstream Hollywood at the time. So if you think about it, this in our world is probably should be considered a little bit way more important than the Academy Awards, because I don't know how you guys feel about the Academy Awards and the Oscars and all that stuff, but I'm just most people like down, they make it a cultural event or something like that, but I'm not interested. It's not, I'm like not about it, but like this I can get into.
Never
Is
heard
it
of it.
actually aired live on TV? Like we can actually watch it?
I don't know, actually. I should have looked into that a little bit more, but like there are a ton of like Walking Dead nominations. Carroll, I think you watch the Oscars, don't you?
I do.
I'm not making fun of you. What do you
watched it too. Don't worry.
Well, what do you like about it? What do you guys like about it?
I guess like for me, it's just I like the pomp and circumstance, and it's to me it's kind of like a cultural event. So it's like one of those things that like my mom and I are like, all right, we're gonna get food and we're gonna get drinks and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna watch these people come in and they're like crazy get-ups and all that sort of stuff. And then you go in and, you know, you're watching it. And I mean, you kind of, for me, usually like I always try to I try to kind of see some of the movies before, you know, the award season comes out. Because most of the time it's like these movies all come out like November, December, you know, when it's like, okay, this is the Oscar period. And so like, I'll try to see some so I can have an informed opinion. And so sometimes, you know, like I'll care and sometimes I don't. I mean, it is like, you know, 5 hours long. So, you know, it's like you duck in and out, you know, it's not something that I can just sit and watch all night. You know, it's definitely not like that, but I don't know. I enjoy it. I can't lie. I do.
I would like the hosts. I mean, like I do like the little bits of like where they kind of just interject like little jokes between the award announcements and stuff like that. I mean, I would enjoy that part, but other than that, but I can catch that online later if I need to.
I don't know. I guess I just enjoy like, oh, it's Oscar night. I don't know.
I like seeing what ridiculous outfits they're gonna wear.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I like the red carpet. I like, you know, them going in. I like the crowd seeing something, and it depends on the host too. Like depending on who you've got it as a host, sometimes it can make it a little bit more interesting. So,
but you'll still watch it, whoever's doing it.
I'll watch it regardless. I'll watch the Golden Globes. I'll watch the Oscars.
Was it Meg that said she also watches it too, or is it just Rachel?
Yep. I'll watch like, you know, mine kind of depends on the host. I'll always watch the opening act because that's always the best part. And then if I'll really watch it if there's like a movie that I really like that's nominated for a lot, or a show that's nominated that I really like. But I try, for the most part, I wind up just going on BuzzFeed afterwards and looking up the winners.
Okay.
Or so Instagram because everybody tweets about it.
So you even care about the winners? That's cool. I mean, that's
I do care. If it's something I'm interested about, yeah.
Okay.
Like the year Tonya won all those awards, I was so into it. No, Alice and Janie deserved it all.
Saturn Awards. So somebody missed what the awards were. The Saturn Awards were what we're talking about, and The Walking Dead came away with a ton. Now let me just go through some of the awards. A lot of the awards, and some of these were a surprise to me too, and they'll enrage some of you too as well. So both Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead were nominated for Best Horror Television Series. Just right out of the gate. And by the way, this is via T-Walking D-World. For just an example, they had a whole thread with all the nominations. So there's that. They take away Best Horror Television Series. You've got Andrew Lincoln for Best Actor in a TV Series. Lenny James for Best Supporting Actor in a TV Series. Khary Payton, also nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a TV Series. Then you move on to actresses. You've got Danai Gurira, Best Supporting Actress in a TV Series. Melissa McBride, Best Supporting Actress in a TV Series. Now, here's what surprised me. Sydney Lemmon. Best Guest Starring Performance in a TV series. Right? Just came out on the scene with the prettiest thing since the end of everything. I mean, I was very surprised by that. Like that you know, she had that much of an impact on the show.
I didn't know that was her. I didn't know her real name.
Isabel.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yes, my bad.
Yeah. Oh wow. Really?
Yeah. Right.
I know. I'm kind of surprised.
Really?
Maybe it's trying to lend some legitimacy by shocking people with stupidity, but I don't know. I mean, it's also the fact that it's just so quick too. Like they must have snuck it in before season. I mean, that happens at the Oscars as well when they know somebody's performance is coming out right before the award show, they'll just slide it in under the wire. I mean, actually, Carroll, you know my friend, our friend Matt, Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody or any one of you guys are looking for a marketing VP for films, he's available. So just throwing it out there.
When I get back into filmmaking, I'll get him on.
Yeah, he's got to get back into marketing television and film and all that stuff. But yeah, so yeah, he talks a lot about that sometimes. Like just how the whole organization works and what's the ins and outs and the dirty and the sausage. I know I made this sound really weird. The next award nomination is Tonya Pinkins for best guest starring performance in a TV series. Martha, the filthy woman.
Oh wait, I said that out loud, didn't I?
From last year. Now, here's the thing. She's a terrific actress. She's a terrific actress. I mean, you can't deny that she...
Yes. No, she's great, yeah.
She annoyed you, but the reason why she annoyed you was also because she was like, why are you here, first of all? But second of all, please leave. You're scaring me. And then last but definitely not least, and this is very odd, because he's also in the same vein as Tonya Pinkins and Sidney Lemmon, and it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and that's best guest starring performance on a TV series.
But he's not
What?
a
guest star?
Yeah, that's the
He's
thing.
in the main title. Right.
Yeah.
How's he a guest?
I don't
He's
know.
not a guest.
I don't know. I guess I don't know what how that happened, but best guest starring performance on a TV series. Now that could
On
be.
their part.
Now I have to wonder if maybe it's for Supernatural. I should have looked a little harder.
Oh, yeah. It's in the third.
That would make more sense.
That would make a lot more sense.
I'd have to look at the tweet again, but I'm pretty sure
He was just in the last season.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it was the third
Yeah.
episode.
I know
That
all,
makes way more sense.
I
all
just
the
did a little Google
all the
search.
edits of him from Supernatural and then on The Walking Dead.
I did a little Google search, and it says the Saturn Awards to be pretty much airing live for the first time in years.
Wow.
It's going to be streaming, not on TV.
Oh, that's great.
They don't know. It says ceremony will be held September 13th at the Avalon Theater in Hollywood, with a streaming partner to be announced in the near future. And this article was just published on the 12th, so it's pretty dang recent.
Yeah, and considering the nominations came out last week, which actually what's the timeline on that? Let's see, that's
2 months, a little less than 2 months away.
Yeah, the 12th was 2 weeks away, right? And we're 2 weeks later.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Right. And the announcements were last week. So yeah, they have to be getting on this soon. If we do see something relating to this, we'll try to report it on the corresponding episode that we're covering. Because I mean, we literally have no time. I'm going to be going on vacation starting next week exactly. And then I'm not going to be back until we have to cover that Talking Dead special, by the way, which is going to basically be Fear the Walking Dead and the Walking Dead characters on this big ass stage with Chris Hardwick. And we're just going to watch that and go through some highlights. I mean, we could try doing a live watch of that as well. If you guys are down.
What is it?
It's going to be on the 11th. So August 11th on Sunday night. And then we can do just like a live watch of that on Monday night or something.
Oh.
Make some
I
notes.
should be able to do it, yeah.
It's going to be a lot less complicated than today's show. So, yeah. So, just to let No Sanctuary know, yeah, if you have a topic about the main show, I'll let you know when to bring it up because I'll have you bring it up right before we show the trailer for TWD season 10. So, just keep my eye on the button there. Okay. So next thing is, yeah. So Michonne's first. So right before SDCC, the first thing that we got, the first bit of news was like a couple days beforehand. It was like the first look via Entertainment Weekly, and basically, Angela Kang in that article, along with the picture, and maybe I'll show the picture. Hold on a second. This is gonna be fun. I could do screen sharings all day. Oh, thanks, Microsoft Edge browser. Suck a dick. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can do the screen share thing. Boop. And let me share the screen. No, not that. Pardon me.
So you're tired.
Do you need to sleep? I think I'm sharing the wrong screen. No, or no, I am.
Oh, this is getting me dizzy here.
Okay, so this is the image that they shared on social media, like Michonne hacking down walkers, like just with fire abound, and like they basically talk about how, one of the things that we got going on this season, we continue some explorations of natural elements and how they play into our world, says Kang, and fire is one of those elements that comes into play in a few key ways that twist the story in a way that will be pretty exciting. And basically saying fire is terrifying now, and they're basically going to explore how like natural elements, kind of like the hurricane in Fear the Walking Dead of last year, which is, again, like I bring up almost every episode now because Logan had talked about that in the mid-season finale, how it basically accelerated the decay of this world. And now in TWD, we're dealing with fire, and how like just simple natural disaster things that we take for granted today. It's obviously very different implications for our people in an apocalyptic world. So I thought that was a nice, very interesting drip of information, because the next thing that we get, I'm going to actually close this and see if I can pop up the other article, which is Eugene on the CB. Here we go. Can you see that? Actually, so hold on a second.
Not yet.
Let me make sure I'm sharing the right screen. There we go.
There he is.
There we go.
There he is, Gabna. Okay, so yeah, Eugene on the CB. And the reason why I even brought this up is because I know, Carroll, you've been like shouting.
I've been on the radio thing for how many seasons? I'm like, red flag, there's the radio, red flag.
It's happening.
It is going to come into play, and it's happening.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
And basically, Kang says this will definitely be a part of the season. It's part of the fun mystery of the season. It will come into play in hopefully interesting ways that turn the story. I can't tip too much about it, but I think there's some fun to be had here. What does she freaking mean about fun to be had?
I think they're just
Madison coming to Walking Dead.
Well, I was going to say, everybody thinks that it's Rick on the other side of the microphone.
No, that's ridiculous.
No, not Rick. No.
I think it's Morgan or somebody.
I think it's, well, I have my theories.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, they have them existing in the same world now, so.
But they're still so far behind.
Right.
I don't know.
They're like, what is it? We figured out it's now 6 years behind?
Yeah, but who knows? 5B's going to end before season 10 starts, so who knows where they're going to end the season at.
That's true. It literally ends a week before.
And every time they do something in Fear, there's a time jump.
Well,
they did say there is going to be one more time jump before the season ends. They did say that.
You're saying, in Fear?
Of Fear?
Yeah,
Yes.
Fear, yeah.
Oh.
I don't remember when. I want to say it's at the end of the show or at the end of the season, but don't quote me on that part.
Yeah, but by all intents and purposes, like the time jumps that happen in Fear are not that big.
No.
I mean, we discover that like when we take it into relation to The Walking Dead.
The biggest time jump was a year.
Yeah, that's it.
When they showed
between the dam and the stadium, basically.
Yeah,
essentially.
that was what I was trying to get at.
Right. Which it makes sense too. Like, they have had all these times, the factory, all the stuff that they mentioned in season 4, basically. So
when they had that timeline breakdown, how far behind was Fear?
As of right now, they are 6 years and 18 months.
Okay.
Or 8 months.
8 months.
6 years and 8
yeah.
months behind.
8 months.
We ain't making babies 2
I was
times in a row. No, and this is I'm smiling, but you can't see me. But I mean, they can't see us. But like, I'm smiling because I like want to fight Meg on this every single time just because it annoys her. Yeah, it's like 6 years and around 6 to 8 months.
I think I did like at least 2 hours worth of research trying to figure this out.
She takes me so seriously.
I did more research on that than I did my notes for this episode. Because it was bothering me so much, because I love timelines. I love knowing when this is happening.
I'm with you.
In the world, what is happening, and what was I doing in my life when this was happening?
Yeah, because I know they said that at one point in the timeline where the helicopter people had Al, that it was like she escapes. I forget the timeline prior to Rick Rick being caught by them or something like that.
Because like my theory was that
Right.
when I think we even talked about this after episode 5, that some of the theories were that as soon as they left Al, that they went to go pick up Rick, but it would have been too soon.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that they made another stop before they got Rick.
Yeah, because I read some timeline online somewhere, and it was I want to. What was it, like 90 something days in between Al and Rick being with? I don't know. I can't remember. I'll find it. The timeline that I read, but
Well, if that were the case, then we'd have to assume that it was Isabel picking Rick up in the helicopter, and I don't think it was, because I think there were, I think there were 2 people in the helicopter.
In Rick's helicopter,
She was alone.
Yeah,
correct.
She was alone. There was
correct.
2 in Rick's helicopter.
Yeah.
When
So I don't think,
when I re-binge season 9 just before 10, I'm gonna really pay attention to that helicopter scene, and I think everyone is going to be doing the same thing.
Oh, you're gonna re-binge the whole season, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Dang, son.
Yeah.
that's a lot of torture. That's a lot of torture just for one episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm skipping episode 15. I am skipping it entirely.
Oh, come on. Be a
No,
soldier.
I am still traumatized. Like, if I was to live stream that episode, you would see nothing but tears the entire episode.
I should be like a therapist, like for all the Walking Dead fans. That
I need therapy for that episode.
Yeah. I'm like, about time somebody died.
I agree someone needed to die, but not 2 of my favorites.
and quite a few children too. How?
Who cares?
What a landmark episode.
But I think like the biggest like fuck you of that entire thing was the fact they put her glasses on her.
I love that.
That was the best.
And they kept what's her name, Tammy Rose's scarf on her head.
Yeah.
and just tied around.
that seems like such an alpha thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a tricky lady. That one.
Yeah.
So the next article I have up here is the Walking Dead season 10 premiere date, and that is October 6th.
I'm so mad I'm missing it.
What?
So now, how are you missing this
I
again?
won tickets to a concert and I can't.
Skip it.
You know how badly I want to miss it, but I promised my mom I would take her.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
That's
I
okay.
might be sick that day.
Oh no, you got to take your mom. But you know what? You'll
I'll have
watch it.
AMC premiere by then, so I'll watch it. Like
There
that
you
morning.
go.
Oh, there you go.
And then we
So
can
I'll
cover it
still
on Monday night.
Perfect.
Problem solved.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, no problem to begin with, right?
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
How wonderful. How
And
wonderful.
besides, it's Hugh Jackman. I can't not go.
Yeah. No, yeah, you can't not. So, let me see. The article was from comicbook.com, News of the Dead. Exact detail to me remain to be publicly revealed. Yeah, I mean, she says one of the things from comicbook.com that we got really excited about is the idea of propaganda and paranoia. I mean, this is something that we're going to talk about in the trailer, and the idea of silence the whispers, which creator Robert Kirkman played really well. So there's definitely a feeling that as our group gets into this conflict that keeps building between the Whisperers, that's very different from how the Saviors War played out, where there's just elements of paranoia, but kind of a Cold War feel. This is Angela Kang, by the way. And we're also having a lot of fun with the fact that the last time our people were in a war, it was automatic weapons and gunfire, but we're just not really in that period of time anymore. So we're working on some battle stuff that's unlike anything we've done on the show, which I'm super excited about. And we do get a feeling of that when you see the trailers between Luke, the shields, and all that stuff.
Melee weapons, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it's like Greek infantry weapons or something like that. And she's saying also director and executive producer Greg Nicotero has been in rehearsals for some stuff we're about to shoot, and I think it's pretty cool. That's some of the stuff that look-wise, feel-wise is unique to the start of season 10. Yeah. Oh, and No Sanctuary was mentioning that there was an AK in the trailer, and I think the people holding the AKs were the Whisperers, by the way.
Whispers.
They were, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good eye, No Sanctuary. Good eye. And you do see a lot of this. By the way, you see this as well in the 5B trailer for Fear the Walking Dead as well. Logan mentioned something about like no shortage of ammo and all this weapons and weaponry. It's like why are all our bad guys suddenly have like the leverage or something like that? But maybe this is like a David and Goliath thing, or maybe it isn't. Maybe this is really going to be bad. You know. And yeah. So last thing is they've been living with some of the Whisperers' rules. and we'll see that some things have changed and some people have done some unexpected things in the time that's passed to deal with the trauma at the end of last season. And we do get a feel for that in the trailer as well. I mean, I'm loving that everything she's saying here. And this is obviously... No, actually, this was during, I think, Comic-Con. When was this released? July 18th? That was... yeah, it was a day before Comic-Con. So then when we saw the trailer, we got to see all this play out in real time. You know, so we kind of got the Cliff's Notes before the actual visuals of each of these things. So I'm glad I read the article. I wasn't going to originally, too. But because it really just announced the date, and I was just kind of like, I wanted to give it attribution to it or something like that. But okay, yeah. And I have to show this article. And this is the last visual that I think I'm going to show until the trailers come up. But don't worry, no Sanctuary. We'll bring it up. We'll probably replay it a few times. He's talking about the line that Carroll has.
Yes.
So yes, I have to show this picture because there were like live streams about it. Like they were making fun of Garret on like Instagram like stories and stuff like that. But Maggie Grace has a picture of Garret Dillahunt from I forget where this is from, like Beastmaster or something. It looks like Beastmaster, but it's Garret Dillahunt with a sword and a loincloth. And basically he couldn't make SDCC because of filming obligations. And same thing with Coleman Domingo, but like, you know, Garret Dillahunt is not a stranger to making fun of himself. So this is via David underscore Onda on Twitter. And he's with Maggie Grace, and
I saw that.
Yeah.
And when she posted it.
And they showed it on the panel as well, you know, where his spot on the table was supposed to be.
I think it was for her birthday, right?
What was that?
It was for her birthday, wasn't it, or something like that? He sent it to her?
I don't know, but I know he said like, yeah, I think it was for her birthday. And then he said like, you know, this is, I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you, A, for your birthday, and B, for Comic-Con, but I wanted to send this in my stead just to kind of keep your spirits up. And like, it just became this thing at Comic-Con. They showed it to every media personality. They showed it on stage, and it just became this thing, which I love.
She was like, well, you don't show up to Comic-Con, this is what happens.
This is what happens, basically.
Yep.
And her and Alicia were just giggling like schoolgirls. It was just insane.
I mean, can you blame them? Really? Like...
Oh, there we go. See, that now the caption is a way you can actually see the loincloth.
Yeah, now it's nice.
Yeah. Look at that tonnage, man. Look at that. Ow.
You can't see this right now. My head's tilted.
Yeah, I'm like, what's underneath that? Is this part Scottish? Oh my god. Okay. All right. Enough out of this. So I'm going to go back to... See, I like how I narrate things. I'm going to go back to not screen sharing. And
it's going to be fun for you to edit the audio part where we're like talking about the pictures.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not editing that stuff. Are you kidding me? That's comedy gold. Let me just check the Instagram stream because I want to make sure that I knew this would happen. Every time I keep switching cameras, because every time I do the screen share, it doesn't go back to, oh my God. This is so dumb. I'm in scene 2, and I'm like showing the OBS screen now. Hey, look at my OBS settings right now. All right, here we go. There we go. Okay. All right, we're back to normal. Hey, guys.
My OBS settings right now.
Oh, who was that?
I was checking to see what it looked like.
You look great, Chris. Yo.
No. I was checking to see what your channel looked like.
Nah, you just checking yourself out. You just flexing.
I can do that right here.
It's true. It's true. But it's more impressive in a public setting. Yeah. Anyway, so next bit of news is that Scott Gimple says Fear the Walking Dead officially greenlit for season 6 via Undead Walking FS on Twitter. How do you guys feel about this? I know that there's a lot of people out there that are like, they're kind of, I don't know if they're tired on Fear or never really on board.
Probably never really on board.
You know, so probably more in that camp. But there are some people that are like, "Oh, Fear ain't gonna last longer than this season." Or, I mean,
I was winding down a little bit.
It wasn't. I thought like, I mean, I was among the people that didn't know the fate of the show, like if they were gonna be renewed for a 6th season. They actually waited a little longer than they did last year, I think, to announce the next season.
Unless they have something huge happen at the end of this season or beginning of next, I think 6 might be the last.
Yeah. Well, what do you think would happen after 6? Like,
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not even gonna mention Madison because I'm gonna like stray away from that for a minute. But
or else Tom will get us.
Yeah, no, not even that, because I learned how to deal with that.
Yeah, you just embrace it.
Exactly. But no, like something has to happen there. I don't even know what sort of storyline they can go, because I kind of hope they deviate away from constantly wanting to help people. Because I've enjoyed this season, but I feel like they've lingered on certain topics, certain situations way too long.
Yeah.
I love how Chris is shaking his head wildly with that.
Yes.
Just enough.
Well,
right?
I mean, Morgan mentions this too, though, too. It's like, we gotta start living for ourselves.
Yes. I was like,
stupid.
Fuck, man. Like, people have been helping themselves since this shit happened. All right. You're not gonna be the new Jesus. You ain't saving everybody.
I know.
Enough.
Personal.
Yeah, and they play that shit in the background.
I mean, that's what was so funny about that.
Yeah. No more of this Captain Save-A-Ho.
I love how the two
Captain Save-A-Ho?
Yeah.
I love how the two most negative people are in the bottom right here. Just want to note that.
Wait, it's the bottom on your screen.
These guys right here.
I'm on the top. Wait, I'm on the top.
And on your screen, but in the public screen, you're on the bottom. You're both.
I can pet her head.
You know what's really funny is like
Bunch right now.
I was gonna say you guys are wearing like dark black shirts.
Yes,
to match my heart.
But then again, like I'm wearing this too. Oh, it's a shirt from our merch store.
The shipping is ridiculous.
This is like turning into a running gag, basically. Just like every opportunity to plug the merch store. Which I mean, again, like. Don't make any money off this thing. This is for you people. Except what is it about the shipping, Meg, again?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. That's the reason to shop, folks. That's the reason to shop.
If you're going to do it on sale, because then the shipping is not so ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll announce the sales when they come on. I mean...
Yeah, I don't even bother anymore.
Well, that's why I got my shirt when I did, because with the shipping, it wound up equaling $1 less than what the shirt normally would cost.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So that's why I said on a sale, it's not bad.
Yeah, the sales are like deep. They're deep cuts.
Yeah, it was like the shirt was like
think
14.
Sorry, you would think they would give us a deal.
Yeah.
We don't get shit.
You know who does do that though? I was like looking up like other merch vendors, like, and I'm not plugging. This is not an advertised plug, but like Printful.com does some really good stuff. They try to save on costs by not having having you get the merch person like Stripe or like PayPal or whatever it is that you're going to use for the purchasing part of the merch store.
Right.
So they can focus on making the actual stuff and then putting up the front end for your designs and stuff like that. And I'm looking at the quality of their stuff and it's really good. So
this is why I'm only ordering stickers and I'm ordering it by the roll and I can sell it on my own.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you can do that. Yeah. I mean, there's some things that you can do that without, like, first of all, having a whole basement to have all this stuff in. And second, like, I mean, a roll of stickers, what's that? Yeah, like a stack of notebooks, what's that?
It's but like as big as this.
But then boxes of t-shirts, that's a lot.
Excessive.
And then having to ship that stuff. Like, I mean, for those of you watching and listening to the podcast, I do have an extra sticker.
That was mine.
No, forget that. That's now it's up for grabs. I don't know what the qualifications will be, but you basically have to come over to my house. I'm not going to give you my address.
I live the closest to you.
That's true. Okay, Meg, you get this sticker. Yes, Meg the Geek, you get this sticker. You can buy these at the merch store.
The shipping's ridiculous.
The shipping's ridiculous. So squawkingdead.com. Yeah, hit the main menu and click merch, and you're there. Yeah, and by the way, we do have our new Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 designs. They are very take a chance because they are very loud. The colors are very loud. And
you know what?
What?
It's not ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. No, I mean, I'm ridiculous for, making them. But if you do like a gold with red lettering shirt, hey, it's all you. It's all you. I'm going to be getting one soon, so you could join me. The ladies design
the
actually.
Gold one?
Yeah. The ladies designs are actually nice. It does make more sense, but the men's the colors are a little bit brighter on the men's, and the ladies a little bit more subdued. So you may want to think about that. But the mugs and all that stuff.
Get a ladies shirt.
Yeah, like the ladies' cut where it kind of flares out at the bottom. Yeah. So you may want to get an extra size up on that one. I've heard, by the way. I don't know. I didn't try them on. Okay, I did try them on. I tried one of them on. Okay, don't judge. It did have that extra love handle room. Okay, which are normally reserved for hips. But we're gonna move on to new cast announcements. And I actually, I wanted to give a little background to this. I had spent all night trying to make it so that I can share my screen among all of you, because it's not as easy doing it when you're broadcasting to YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So let me see, we're 46 minutes in. Yeah, I mean, I basically have to tie all these things into a single resource, and then I have to use a different resource for the actual playing, and it's a whole thing. So it took me all night to get. So I'm like pleading with my fellow hosts on the show today to help me out on getting just a few blurbs on each new cast member from each series, because I just didn't have the time, and B, I didn't have the bandwidth, the mental bandwidth to actually handle it today. So the first new cast announcements that I want to announce are and we're doing this in order of their drip release on San Diego Comic-Con. So it's going to be Fear the Walking Dead is first. Obviously the panel was first, and and they do go into the new cast for TWD before they go into the spinoff actually. But I will give the floor to who was doing the Fear the Walking Dead? It was you, Rachel, right?
Me.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give the mic over to Rachel, and she's going to go through the 3 castings, the new cast members for Fear the Walking Dead's 5B.
I feel like we need to applaud for her now.
Yeah, okay, we can do that.
Right. Grand entrance.
Golf clap.
Okay.
Okay,
so
what a terrific audience.
oh, jeez.
Oh.
So some of these people, well, one of these people was a little bit hard to find information on. So, but it excites me because I like when shows like this put actors on here that we haven't seen before. For me, I get a little bit more attached to them when I don't already have a character in mind when I'm looking at them. So,
you used an example too.
Yeah. I was worried when Jenna Elfman joined the cast, but I mean, she's a fucking pro. So, yeah, Meg and I talked about that a little bit too. She's just June,
and
it's not
then
Jenna. Yeah, exactly. So upon a little bit of research, I wasn't sure I knew who Colby, and I apologize. I don't know if Minifee.
Yeah, she has Minifee, I think, or
Minifee.
It could be Fi, but she's worked with Mo Collins before too. By the way,
did she? Okay, that didn't come up in my research, but
And by the way, I recommend you check out her the Instagram highlights. Just do it. Yeah, you will just laugh your ass off. Did you do that?
Sorry. I'm definitely I haven't checked the highlights out yet.
We can share it now. I'm kidding.
I did some light stalking on her Instagram, but that was about it. I was really interested to see what other shows that I had seen her in, if I would recognize her from something else, which is weird, right? Because I don't like seeing. Anyway, she's had just I would say a few minor roles. I don't think she's had anything big so far. I recognize her from Jessica Jones. She played, I believe, the roommate down the hall in, when was that? I don't remember what season it was. She played Robin, was her character name. But I tried really, really hard to look up the name of their characters too, and that wasn't happening. None of them. So I have no character names for you. Sorry. This was interesting, though. I might actually go back and look this up. In an episode of Glee, she played a young Sue Sylvester.
I think I remember that episode. Oh my god.
Do you?
I need to Google this now.
We didn't get that far into the series, but now I want to go back and find her. Yeah.
Carol, you watched Glee?
And I did.
Oh, okay.
I did spot her in the trailer. So when that comes up, I'm going to point her out.
Okay, good. Yeah. I did catch Peter Jacobsen, but I did not catch Colby.
Oh, yeah.
The first Colby.
And I think, I call him Girl Colby and Boy Colby. But Girl Colby, I know right where she is, and I think I know where Boy Colby is. I will point that out too. So speaking of Boy Colby, also before we move on from Girl Colby, I'm really excited that there's a redhead on the show that I might actually be able to cosplay now.
There you go.
Huh.
So Boy Colby, however, he was the one I had a hard time with. Honestly.
Colby Holman.
Colby Holman, yes, that's him. I'm excited to see him. His Instagram, Twitter, all of that kind of stuff shows a lot of him on stage. So he's got a lot of stage acting down. So we'll see how that transfers over to screen. I saw him credited for like 2 things that I had never heard of, literally. So honestly, I think this is his first like big anything. So that'll be exciting for him.
Or like big transition to like
yeah,
TV,
yeah,
basically.
Right. Peter Jacobsen. Okay, so he has this face that everybody knows. Like, you see this guy's face and you're like, oh yeah, he's that guy from that thing.
He's that guy from House.
Right.
I was a big House fan.
And you're seriously, and you're probably right. The man has literally been in everything. Like, I stopped writing after like 15 shows he had appeared on. Maybe just once or twice. But yeah, seriously, like going all the way back to NYPD Blue in 1993.
Wow.
Will and Grace, Ed, CSI Miami, Scrubs, both Law and Orders, Criminal Minds, Entourage, House for 5 years.
Right.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Chicago PD, Ray Donovan. I mean, he's literally
he was in Always Sunny too.
Yeah, he was in one episode.
Well, you said Will and Grace too, so that's
he was on
like
Will and Grace.
That's like a connection there.
Oh wait.
Or am I saying? Wait, is
what?
Will and Grace?
Are you thinking Dharma and Greg?
I'm thinking Dharma
and
Greg.
Yeah. But yeah, he's been in like a ton of stuff. I'm really excited to see him on the show too. He has a very recognizable face, but no characters that like stick in my brain. So I'm excited to see him. Also he's first credited in episode 512, so we're not going to see him until then.
Ooh.
Oh, and Girl Colby doesn't come out until 5:15.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
I actually found a picture of Girl Colby when she was in Glee.
Oh, nice.
Wait, can you even see it?
Kinda. She's a little whited out.
She's a little contrasted out. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's her.
Boy, that really comes out too on the stream. Yeah, we're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I know about our new cast members.
Yeah, just to catch people up who are missing it. These are the new cast members for Fear the Walking Dead. We said it, but some people kind of missed it. So.
Yeah. I don't know when we're gonna see Boy Colby. He wasn't on the list of like anything. It was so hard finding information on him. Really,
I can imagine. He looks like he's mostly stage actor.
But I kind of like how they pulled a newbie like of his like level, because like think about it. Like think about when Walking Dead first started. Chandler Riggs was kind of a nobody in a way, and look at him now.
Yeah,
very much.
So this really could launch his career.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the hope too. Speaking of that, by the way, before we move on to the next bit of news, I just found out that Angel Theory was a student of one of our friends, Carroll. By the way, you know John.
Yeah.
A?
Yeah.
He teaches in Bronx Science, I think is. No. He teaches at Celia Cruz. And Angel Theory, who plays Kelly on The Walking Dead, she was one of his students.
Shut up.
In English, yeah. Like I heard it third hand through a friend. I'm like, holy crap, that's so weird.
That is hilarious.
What a connection. I should like bring that up at some point. Hey, you remember John A? You teach your English teacher John A? What up? We got that connection, yo. You want to do an interview? The thing is that she would, by the way. She's so nice. She
probably would. Yeah.
Like Chris, you got that already lined up, right?
What's that?
An interview with Angel Theory on BMNY?
Not Angel Theory, no, but
I'll hook it up. Don't worry.
I actually kind of have something set up with Angel.
You do?
Yeah. Through my job, I do a lot of work with the sign language interpreting program there.
Holy crap!
And I was telling Angel about some of the shows that we put on, and I was like, "Oh, I can send you some clips," and she's like, "Yeah." And I'm setting something up between her and the head of the department where she might come like talk to her classes and everything.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I have to start editing some clips together to show her like a reel, and if she likes it, she'll come out here and talk to everyone.
Whoop whoop.
Very cool.
Very cool.
By the way, I have to address this now because Thorgon is going nuts right now. Thorgon 9 on the chat. He's like, Chris, wake up. Because you're looking down at your phone. Looks like you're sleeping.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking up stuff.
I'm chatting with my son. Go to sleep. It's late even for daddy. Anyway.
No, I'm browsing.
Okay. So Kirkman confirms the show doesn't end just because the comic book does. And this is via The Walking Dead on Twitter. And this is something that had been floating around like 2 days, one day before the freaking SDCC. Actually, it was floating around even during SDCC. And like as soon as the question kind of floated up to the podium, Kirkman just smashed it down. He's like, I don't know where you're hearing this rumors from, but like, just because the comic book is ending does not mean the TV show is in any way ending. So like a lot of people who were saying that season 10's their last season, it's like, no, they're already lining up season 11. They're already boarding season 11. We may get a season 12. I mean, look, they're already doing Fear season 6, which means that's another whole summer of broadcasting. So, I mean, in another, hey, give it up. It's another season of Squawking Dead. So, I've still got a not job.
I think it's going to end at 12, though.
Yeah, as far as projections go and contract negotiations, that's about as far as they can. I mean, that we know of that they can go to. But I mean, look with the spinoff, how long? I mean, think about it. Like, if they're just releasing this new spinoff, like, how long is that going to last? It doesn't sound like it's going to be a mini series.
No, definitely not, based on the research. No.
Right, and that the recent cast announcements on top of the first 3 that were announced in the first few days. So yeah, the rumors are incorrect. You've been led astray. And Kirkman's corrected the record himself, the man of the hour. So here we're up to the new cast announcements for TWD, and these guys are out of the fucking ballpark awesome. But I'll let Carroll take over for this one, right?
Sure.
So,
I know, it sounded like my daughter. Sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So Thora Birch is one of the new additions.
So, I already know who that is.
Well, I didn't know who it was by name until I started doing the research, and I was like, well, I knew, like, for me, it was American Beauty because I loved American Beauty. So when I saw that, Now and Then, but it was like, American
Carroll.
Beauty. It was
Could you raise your volume a bit?
Yes.
It's just on time too because the Instagram stream needs to be Let me hear you.
Do I sound better now?
You could do better than that.
Better?
let me hear you.
No.
A little more now.
A little bit more. A little louder.
Bit louder now.
I knew that was coming.
Is that okay though?
Yeah, it's good. Let me hear you
All
again.
right, cool. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's
Am I
good.
good? Okay.
I'm sure we could do better. Slave
We
driver.
could. I'm like halfway.
There we go. And
Jazz hands. Let me see those jazz hands.
Jazz hand.
Da 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 da.
okay, there we go. Cosmo Bomb 09. That's how I know we're up.
All right.
Oh, Rachel.
Just got to do the jazz hands. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So let's start from the top.
So
On the cast
Thora
announcements.
Birch is joining The Walking Dead for season 10. She's going to play Gamma, who I believe it's a new character because I don't recall a Gamma from the comic, but maybe my mind is blurry. But I don't recall a
I'm with
Gamma.
you.
Yeah. I mean, in the
I don't
description, they say that she's like a very strong supporter of Alpha. So
This
it's
is just
funny.
from today, right? We got
Yeah,
some
I
news
think so.
drips.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was today.
And by the way, I have to apologize because when I was trying to express this the week before, I think it was episode 58, that like SDCC is one of those things where, just around the time news starts breaking and SDCC the dam breaks, and then you get drips and drips of information from then on. And to the point where, by the way, The Walking Dead Twitter saying, we're going to be dripping information exactly on this day every week. And I'm like, holy shit, they're doing the same thing with Daniel and just announcing that they're going to be leaking things. Like, just no surprises. But
Can we
anyway,
not talk with them? Like, really?
we really do. They do not know how to manage internet zeitgeist at all. Like, they're doing the exact opposite of what they should be doing. Like pretending like the internet found a leak. That's what they should be doing. Yo, guess what? We just found out about this thing that's gonna blow your mind. Tracy Morgan. Anyway, so so now continue, right? About Gamma. My bad. I just had to apologize.
Actually, even beyond Gamma, like I was just doing my little research on her, and I didn't even realize, like, you know how a lot of actors have like stage names, and like Thora Birch sounds like, you know, kind of a stage name. No, like her parents named her after Thor. So they just
Oh,
After who?
Thor, the comic book
like
actor.
literally like Thor. And just
Okay.
added an A.
Hmm.
And I think
That's
her
really
brother,
rad.
yeah, and her younger brother's name is Bolt.
Holy crap! God of Thunder here.
Interesting.
Bolt of lightning here.
Oh boy.
I
Yeah.
remember their house was like growing up.
I was like, that's awesome. It's great. It's fabulous. So that was kind of cool. But no, so she's going to play Gamma, who's supposed to be a huge supporter of Alpha.
And you do see her in the trailer too.
You do see her in the trailer. She has sort of like a resemblance to Alpha, which I thought was kind of interesting. But
Right.
Yeah.
Lydia
for hair.
Redux.
she has more of a resemblance to her than Lydia, I felt like. Like they're in the facial features,
Yeah.
strong
Yeah.
similarity.
Oh, I'm just saying like Alpha Junior, like Redux. Like, oh, let's do a do-over.
Yeah.
Lydia, that batch didn't quite turn out
that
right.
didn't quite work out.
It's a little crispy on the edges and no good.
But I mean, she has a extensive list of films and TV films that she's been in. I mean, obviously, like I said, American Beauty was the one that like stuck out to me, but she's played like Jack Ryan's daughter in like Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. She was in Hocus Pocus. Then what was it? Now and Now? Was that the name?
Now and then.
Now and Then.
Now and then.
She was in Pregnancy Pact, which I think was on Lifetime. I remember that. She's had quite a lot of films, but yeah, I was pretty impressed. I was like, all right, this will be interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest name to appear in any of these shows.
She's pretty big,
Her?
yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought Ethan Embry was a pretty big catch.
Well, no, I'm saying out of SDCC announcements.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Alone.
yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
and like,
I don't mean like in all the history, just this year.
Oh.
I thought Jenna Elfman and
Jenna Elfman was a big one,
and
and
Garret
Garret
Dillahunt.
Dillahunt.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I said just like what we're
Yeah,
recapping.
current,
tonight.
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
In the grand
Current
scheme, you can
catches.
argue about that for years.
right.
Yeah. And then there was also the addition of Kevin Carroll.
Yeah,
who
Kevin
is
Carroll.
going to
Sounds
who's
familiar.
going to play. Well, he was in The Leftovers apparently, but I didn't see The Leftovers. Did you? Did any of you guys see The Leftovers?
No.
I did.
Doesn't sound
It was on
familiar.
It was on HBO.
Yeah, I saw The
Oh,
Leftovers. It was great,
Yeah.
beginning to end.
The one about the baseball guy or something.
No, The Leftovers was a show about is it a third of the world's population disappearing?
Yeah, it just like disappears. Like
Meg's like, is this about sports or something?
Is this about like the foosball?
Is it about the guy who plays ultimate frisbee?
Snooze.
If it's not football, I don't know it. So
Just the way you said it. Is this the guy who plays sports?
what was that show about the guy? He was like the leftover. He was like an older baseball guy. He had like it was like Danny McBride.
Oh, I know what you're talking about
I know what
too.
you're talking about, but that was
It was like
I know.
down and out or
that
something.
movie was no, that show
It's
was
a now
hilarious.
and later.
Yeah.
That was a
That show-
Now I
candy.
gotta look it up.
Old Durham.
I'm gonna look it up.
Bench warmers?
The bench warmers. Just remember the Titans.
All right, you know what?
There it is.
There is a Field of Dreams.
Dreams. Angels in the outfield, huh?
Yeah.
No, hold on. What's the name of that damn?
Major League.
So
Eastbound and Down.
Eastbound and Down.
Field
That's
of
the
Dreams.
one.
Yes, yes.
So the
Exactly.
leftovers. The leftovers is not
Making fun of me.
about TV dinners. It's about
Right.
No.
it's about like the third of the world's population disappearing, and then like
So they
all the
have
different
dinner.
things that happen. The thing I described to my wife about this show, though, by the way, because we're watching Perfect Strangers, is that they kind of do this like parallel between like like the real life and what happens on TV. Is like after Perfect Strangers was over, like they just kind of disappeared too.
Mm.
So what happens in the show is that the real like Mark Lynn Baker plays himself, and he pretends like he also disappeared along with the other three cast members, like Bronson Pinchot and the other two ladies.
Yeah.
But he pretends because he goes down to South America because he kind of wanted that sympathy and memorializing that the rest of the cast got too. Mm-hmm. So it was just really funny. And then you see Marklin Baker running around just trying not to get caught. And he acts kind of like Larry on the TV show. If you've ever watched Perfect Strangers and are old, then you'd get this. Yes. But it's just kind of funny. There's a little bit of dark comedy to it, even though it's kind of this rough sci-fi bit. Yeah. It doesn't really go into the sci-fi bit as much. Kind of like how it's in the similar vein to if you've ever seen Man on the High Castle, it's not very sci-fi.
No, but it's being in an alternate kind of universe.
Right. It's similar to that, where the sci-fi is kind of subdued, except for the last season, I think, because that's when they kind of lift up the curtain. They go, you want to trip on something? Trip on this, and then they just show the ladies' underpants, and it's all over. You're in the outback, and there's aboriginals, and there's tripping, and then it's crazy. But sure. I recommend it. It's a wild ride.
That's usually my pickup line. You want to trip on something? Trip on this.
Trip on this.
Boom, boom.
I'm just hearing crickets right now.
Trip on this. Trip over this. This is my third leg. But yes, which brings us back to, I don't know, this is terrible, which brings us back to Kevin T. Carroll.
I don't know how.
You know how. He was also in the recent Castle Rock on Hulu. So if you manage to watch that, which is I also highly recommend.
Okay.
He was not Pennywise. He was the main protagonist.
No. Yeah.
He was incredible, powerhouse, and not only that. I mentioned this when the announcement came out, and then Kevin T. Carroll just started following us on Twitter. So it was just pretty amazing. It was mind-boggling. I did mention this in the last episode. Now it looks like I'm bragging. Okay, moving on. Yes. So Danai Gurira's tearful exit. Now, did any of you catch the actual footage of her announcing her exit?
Crying when she got the standing ovation.
Oh no.
You're right. I saw the standing ovation. I didn't see the full. I started seeing it, then I just didn't have time to watch it. But did any of you who did watch it?
Matt? Yeah, I was able to see it. Yeah.
What was your impression of it? It was
It was genuine. It was I'm pretty sure she's gone. Who knows about movies or anything like that? But I mean, it was very genuine and heartfelt and sad. She's my favorite character since forever. So.
Something I did notice, she said that her time on the show is over.
Yeah, I mean...
She kind of emphasized that. So
which means you'll have, 3 movies for her to be in?
If she even, yeah. I guess she kind of just left the door open. So if she wants to do the movie, she can. If not, then her time is over. But I like how she wasn't Michonne is gone forever. She was Michonne is gone from the show.
Yeah, and I mean, she's got so much going on too. She's going to be in the next Black Panther. I mean, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, she's
got a huge Marvel career out of her.
Who's vibrating there?
That's Rachel, I think.
What? Sorry.
Your phone's vibrating on the mic or something.
I was like, wait a minute, Area 51, we're getting beamed on.
Beam me up.
I didn't realize it was touching one of the legs. Sorry.
It's touching the legs. It's the third leg it's touching.
It does have tripod. 3 legs. It is a tripod.
Kevin T. Carroll, call us. Anyway, sorry. Trying to wake you up, folks, because I'm asleep. But yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but it sounded like I mean, the response on Twitter was just for days. Just so many people were crying emojis, edits about Michonne or Danai Gurira and stuff like that. All the roles she's played. I saw somebody put what if Danai Gurira was Wonder Woman also. It was a really good edit that I retweeted on, I think it was Friday or Saturday. Really good by Miss Doom and Gloom, by the way. I know some of you have seen her edits. Really good. She's a really good Rashone editor. Just to hashtag Rashone that.
Yeah.
I'll probably put it in the show notes so you can check her out on Instagram and Twitter. So that's that. Okay, so we're on to the Untitled The Walking Dead movie. And that's... So, still have no name on it, but The Walking Dead movie is going to be hitting theaters and brought to you by Universal Pictures, too, to boot, like a big-ass theater company. So, basically, the only thing that I could derive... I'll save this for the actual when we show the trailer, and I'll show this in real time, but, like, initial thoughts that I've seen on the internet from the time they announced it to, like, about today, even, was most people... They were like half of the audience was kind of like complaining that they couldn't watch it from their asses on at home. You know what I mean? Have you seen this? Like, but then like the other half is vehemently like defending the decision. Like, it's like, seriously, you want to claim fandom after all these years and not willing to get your ass out and show some support? Like, you're probably downloading the shit anyway. Like, so just throw your money on the table and te gracias, as they say.
Well, I mean, if Universal's doing it, that's not something you want to watch in your living room anyway.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a joke there? Or?
No, like if Universal's the one who's doing the movie, you're not going to want to watch that in your living room. You're going to want to hear, like, you're going to want to be a part of that movie.
Oh yeah, you want to hear that?
Dolby theater for that.
You want to hear that?
Absolutely.
You want that surround sound shit.
Yeah, unless you got some sick surround sound going on, or I don't know.
Your big old bucket of popcorn.
Right?
Yeah. You want to hear that opening sequence with the world spinning and everything?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's a great. I should pull that up. We should share that right now.
I'm turning my basement into a movie theater, so
I'm actually surprised they didn't do that too. Like, I guess they didn't have time or something like that. Like when they released the teaser, they really should have used that logo, the intro logo. It really would have gotten you psyched.
Because I didn't know it was Universal till just now.
Yeah, it was literally.
I didn't either.
I kind of figured because they have their The Walking Dead theme, the event there in Universal.
That's true.
So
That makes
I
sense.
think it kind of gives them dibs on it. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be a good tie-in when the movie comes out to have a new ride.
Yeah.
Which makes me think also that isn't
Rick Grimes,
isn't AMC like maybe a subsidiary of like Universal Studios?
I think they are. I want to say yeah.
We should look that up.
We're gonna have the Rick Grimes helicopter ride.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
You just lay back, have a rebar in your stomach. That's what you hold on to, and then you can guide the ride by turning it, tilting the stick.
It's gotta be better than the plane ride. Fear the Walking Dead.
And by the way, to adjust the altitude, you have various moaning sounds. You just so you go it goes up. You go it goes down. Yeah.
We'll get into the fear stuff in a little bit. Some of the articles I've been reading lately.
Okay. We'll see. Yeah, when we cover the trailer. I wanted to see what was in the chat though, because like people like really like Wilani saying I love Castle Rock. Now I know who you're talking about. Danai leaving the show. She was choked up, I felt. Andrew has confirmed he'll never return to the show. Danai said the same thing. We'll definitely see Michonne in some capacity in the films. I mean, that's his opinion. We don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. But I did want to mention one thing that I didn't write down was that various reports of no real substantiation were saying like, oh, she'll be in most of season 10, but from what I've been reading on paper,
it's only a handful.
Yeah, only a handful. Right. So believe what you want. That you know what I mean.
I had commented on this, I think either last episode or the episode before. Now we all know they've been filming the episodes out of sequence just to hide the spoilers. So my theory was that it is only a handful, but I think it's going to be scattered. Not like how Andrew Lincoln was first 5 and done.
We talked about this, right?
1, 3, 5, 7, 12 or something.
And maybe she appears out of sequence too. Like maybe she'll be there for the first part and then come back for the last half.
Yeah, well, since they're filming out of order, it would make the most sense. She's getting all her filming done now to then head out. So if they're filming out of sequence, it makes sense. Like if she's in only maybe like every other episode versus, like I said, the first 5 and then out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
People are saying like there better be a Rick Michonne reunion. Rolanda, you worked very hard to not say Michonne reunion.
I don't know. Let's watch that trailer again first.
Yeah. Milani is like a trooper too. She's like, I'll be begging my local theater for the movie poster. That's really cool though. Like, I can't even imagine what that poster would look like. Like, it's one thing to do like something for.
I have ideas of the poster. Like if I had to design it.
Okay. Like I'm just saying like it's one thing to see it in like a film setting, but like to in a TV setting, but like to to plan out the key art, et cetera, but like for the film, like you want to do something extra special.
Yeah.
Right? And then how is that going to look like? I mean, is it just going to be Rick in the front, or I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just thinking about that, like how that would look like. Yeah, or is it just going to be?
I literally want the first.
Oh, go ahead.
The what? Oh, I literally want the first movie to start at the moment the helicopter picks Rick up.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they won't. It's going to be like in medias res. It's going to be like in the middle of everything.
Wouldn't that be cool though?
I think that's
a smooth transition.
I think they're not going to do that if they're smart.
No, because you wanted to start like action packed, get you hooked immediately. So they're going to start it in the middle and then work their way back.
Yeah, because you want to break people's brain. Like, hey, wait, where are we? What's going on? Where in time are we? Wait, why does he look like that?
Going, and then you start absorbing the information more and more because you want to figure out where you are, why we're doing this. Who are these?
How psyched out would you be if it opens up with him in a hospital bed again, waking up?
That'd be awesome.
See, that is perfect. That would
be perfect. The pilot?
Like just waking up, and like looking around again and being like, "Fuck, not again,
not again."
And they're like flowers near his bedside.
Yeah, like just messed up shit. Yeah, just to really mind fuck you.
Yeah.
And then they'll show the bats outside the window too. They turn into helicopters again.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay. So I want to get into that more, but we will probably get into this more when we show the trailer too, and we will show the trailer. So okay. So now we're gonna talk about the spinoff. Okay. There's they announced like the new cast of the spinoff like a couple weeks before SDCC. They announced the first two, Alexa and Nicholas, and then Hal, like just like a day later, half day later, like coming up from the rear. Now, just so everybody knows, Matt Negretti was a producer on The Walking Dead around the time, and you would have noticed him more around the time when they had that episode with Connie in the sorghum fields, hiding from the Whisperers and the Walkers, when she picked up the baby. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. That Alpha lay down on the floor, or the mother from the Whisperers. Yeah. So what was funny was when they released some behind the scenes footage of Matt Negretti holding up the baby and kind of like just jiggling it around because it was such like a jiggly life sized like with full weight baby, and he so he had like one of those boomerang photos where he's like dangling it from the hands, and so he's the one that moved on. He's executive producing the new spinoff.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, he's going to be the showrunner.
Yeah, he's the showrunner for that series.
And it says him and Gimple were collaborated on Rick's last episode, and based on how amazing that episode was, it's giving me hopes for the new show.
Yeah, yeah. He's a very smart, decision maker, producer. So I have high hopes for this series.
Well, the spinoff is supposed to. It basically follows two young girls, right? I think it's two young kids, and they're supposed to be girls.
Yeah. It centers around two girls. Based off of the events in the first half of Fear the Walking Dead. And by the way, which was validated by a like from the Fear the Walking Dead account. I did not mention that last time. It was basically somebody was saying, why would they announce the spinoff during the Fear panel? And I'm like, relax, slow your roll. It makes sense because the events of the spinoff are based off of Fear, and then Fear the Walking Dead was like, boop, you get a like. And so I was like, I knew I was right because I read it, and I know how to read. So who did I give this to? Meg, right? Meg, tell us a little bit about our cast members.
One thing I want to say before we get into the cast, I thought it was cool because when they ordered it straight to series, they ordered it for 10 episodes, which is more episodes than we got in the pilot season of both Walking Dead and Fear.
Right, that's 6 usually.
So they're putting a lot into this first season, and I feel like the breadcrumb trail is gonna be a little longer, but I feel like it's gonna be more beneficial in the end.
And that's awesome.
And they gave like a formal description more than just what about the whole two girls.
Awesome.
They were saying, I think this came from Gimple himself. I'm not entirely sure. Some will become heroes. Some will become villains. In the end, all of them will be changed forever, grown up and cemented in their identities, both good and bad.
Right. Sounds like Lord of the Flies almost.
A little bit. I was kind of getting the vibes.
Which scared the crap out of me as a kid, by the way.
I will never watch that again.
I read the book, and the book terrified me.
I had to read it in high school, and I was like, nope.
Did you finish it?
No.
Really? Oh my God! You have to finish it as an adult.
I was out. Nope.
It gives. I mean, like this is one of the reasons why I don't want to have kids. It's like,
Nah, I'm good, thanks.
Okay.
Good. I got my dog back there, so I'm fine.
What if your dog turns into one of those kids? Those kids.
We're not gonna go there.
Okay.
See this look? We're not gonna go there.
Anyway, sorry I interrupted you, but yes, go on.
No, it's fine. Okay, so the first cast member, we have Alexa Mansour. She plays Hope. So apart from in TV and movies, she's best known for this viral YouTube video called Undress Me, which has gotten like over 40 million views. She's also known for Unfriended Dark Web and also guest spots.
That's how I know her.
Yeah, and guest spots in Madam Secretary, How to Get Away with Murder, and Law and Order SVU.
Wow. Okay.
Next we have Nicholas Cantu,
who's also a YouTuber, by the way.
Yes, I was gonna get to that. He plays Elton. His YouTube name is Junkie Janker, and he's got over 250,000 subscribers. Like, what the hell? That's crazy.
Yeah.
He does mostly animated work or voiceover work. He was in a show called The Amazing World of Gumball. He was a character in Hey Arnold, the Jungle Movie, which is the sequel to the original movie. And he was in various Lego Star Wars movies.
Cool.
We have Hal Cumpson. He plays Silas. He pretty much has no like background. He's also a filmmaker, which I thought that was cool because I'm a filmmaker too. He wrote, produced, and starred in his own comedy drama called Blitched. That was earlier this year. That's the only other acting credit he has. And so there wasn't really anything really known about him. Fun fact, he did follow me on Instagram, so we'll see.
Woo, woo.
Aaliyah Royale, she plays Iris. She's 19. She's been nominated for a few Best Actress awards and indie film festivals, and she was also a contestant on the spin-off series of Project Runway called Project Runway Threads back in 2014.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was a pretty interesting fact.
That's pretty cool.
And as far as actual acting jobs besides this, she's done mostly short films, except she was a character in the short-lived show The Red Line with Noah Wyle from ER.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. And the last one, I'm going to butcher this name.
Annet Mahendru?
Thank you. No, I don't say it. Plays Huck. Yeah, thank you. Now, most of the cast that we've been introduced to, they've been mostly relatively young, which I think one of them was, I think the youngest was like 15. She's the eldest of the cast, which she's almost 30. So she speaks 6 languages, including Russian, Hindi, and German, and she's a brown belt in karate. So I'm really hoping she's going to bring some of those skills to the show, whether it's translating, doing some of her own stunts, kicking some ass, and what have you. Her most notable works have been The Americans, which she played, I think, in some of the earlier seasons.
Cool.
The Penguins of Madagascar movie, and guest spots in Grey's Anatomy, X-Files, and such like that.
She's got some cred.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, so those character names are Hope, Elton, Silas. Silas, or some people say Silas, but like Silas.
Silas.
Iris. Yeah.
Is it Silas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then it's Silas. That's my son's name.
There you go.
There
wow.
you go.
Excellent name.
Yeah, confirmation.
Iris and Huck. Like Huck Finn.
Those are some very interesting names.
Huck.
Elton John.
Yeah, I heard Elton, I thought of from Clueless. I don't know why. See, Rachel, that's what I'm getting at.
But that's Alton.
That's true. Right, valid point.
I do know what you're talking about.
This is spelled literally like. Yeah, this is spelled literally like Elton John. The way he's. I don't know anybody who's named Elton, too.
Besides John. Well, he's not even named Elton.
No, that was me.
Yeah, exactly. So, which makes me think that has to be inspired by Elton John. But
I've never heard of anyone named Huck either.
Oh, like Huck Finn, like Huckleberry.
Okay, but apart like fictional characters, yes. I've never met a real person.
Yeah.
That was a nickname though, wasn't it? Huckleberry.
Huckleberry Finn. I don't know actually.
I'm not sure.
Thought it was a nickname.
But who knows? Mark Twain.
Yeah.
Well, we can ask him.
Or Samuel Clemens. But no, I'm glad we got a little bit more of that information. No, I mean, I think I heard that information when the initial reports came out too. Like that, some will go bad, some will go bad, some will be ripe for the plucking.
I mean, how could they not?
But no, I can't wait to hear more about this. It sounds like it is in development, or like it is. I don't know about production, but because I know that Matt Negretti, I saw a picture of him on Instagram, just at the airport waiting to go, to Virginia to film. So it was kind of interesting. That was like back in May. Was it May? Yeah, probably about May.
They're keeping a lot of the information hush hush.
Yeah.
Like it was really hard to dig up information about any of the cast.
Is there like a projected date for this?
2020.
For the next spin-off? Okay.
Yeah, 2020. So
it's really strange. It's strange to me that these characters have names, but the 3 new ones who are appearing in the second half of Fear don't.
Right, I agree with you there.
Right, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm just
Give
like
us some surprises.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure they do. They're just not telling us.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, like it's like one thing to know who we're gonna see as actors, but like it's another thing to kind of announce their names, who they are before they even show up.
No, honestly, I don't even care what these characters' names are.
Tell us how you really feel, Chris.
I'm sorry we're boring you, but no, like I honestly don't even really know these characters' names because they have no identity. Like, so they're nothing to me right now. They're just names on a page.
No need to be.
They're just
rude.
names,
right?
They're like nothing to me right now.
Once we see like a trailer,
Do they play baseball?
It's a thing. You just have to roll with it, Chris. You just have to roll with it. Chris, she comes back after. We don't appreciate her. She just comes back.
No.
And I'm glad. 2 bits of news that I wanted to get into before.
Okay.
Oh wait, is there more? I'm sorry.
Wow.
They cut you off. You can quit anytime you want. I mean,
I'm gonna go to bed. I don't deserve this abuse.
maybe I'm more.
No, I was just gonna say like how Rachel was saying how the Fear characters don't have names, but the spin-off people do. I think once we get to know a little more about the characters, their names will be important. But since they're just no one right now, it doesn't really matter if they have names or not. Yeah,
as long as they don't do that thing where like they announced Logan before he even showed up on screen. Like his name, they didn't tell us who he was, which is fine. But then when they they announced Isabel ahead of the airing, which just drove me up the wall. I'm like, just throw the mystique out the window. Just leave it be. We have enough. We don't need to know their names. We don't need to know their intentions. Show up. And like with this cast, it's kind of like it's one of you guys said this like offline in the chat was like that they'll grow. Their popularity, the character will grow as we get to know them and the actor as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll grow with us. Mm-hmm. So this could be very and like somebody said before, like this is gonna be a really good opportunity for them to kind of, show what they're capable of, and then this could like Chandler Riggs, it can just blow them up, and they could be on, and they could also be on Pretty Little Liars, maybe someday if they're good enough.
Or as long as nobody looks at the flowers.
Yeah. Oh man. I'm so sorry. 2 things. Sydney Park. Do you remember Cindy from Oceanside? She's going to be returning according to T Walking D World.
They're going to be spending a lot of time at the ocean based on
based on the trailers.
And she confirmed it too. I saw on some I forget what platform it was, but I did hear her say she is coming back. Right.
And what's interesting about that is that like what Carroll was saying is that for all the lack of the Oceanside in season 9, it sounds like we're going to be getting a lot of it in season 10.
I mean, they're really emphasizing the setting. I mean, from the get-go where they have like the AMC logo getting washed by the water, like they're heavily pushing that this is the setting. This is the core setting where at least a lot of significant things are going to happen. I have my thoughts and we'll get to them, but
right.
I kind of like how they are heavily emphasizing the water, since the first picture of Michonne we saw, she was surrounded by fire.
Right.
The 2 opposite, elements. I
Confirming.
feel like that's going to play a big part.
Right.
I mean, obviously we know it's going to play a big part, but I feel like the fact that they teased us straight out the gate with 2 different elements,
Right,
that's gonna
right.
tie in somehow.
It kind of confirms what like Angela Kang is saying about like the elements playing a part.
Right.
And
It's like we can't have another hurricane. We had that already in Fear. So, not what was it? Yeah, it was her.
yeah, in Fear.
Storm.
Yeah.
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 Which spilled
So, like-
over into The Walking Dead, but not
Right, but we can't have another hurricane. They have to
Right.
have something else.
right.
Yeah.
And we kind of had a little bit of a fire in Fear, so it can't be really a fire,
Right.
even though there will be some sort of fire.
Right.
But
right.
I'm almost wondering if, I mean, there is a bit of an iconic scene with Michonne in like the ocean setting, and I wonder if that's going to be her cast off.
Which we will get to, because there is a
Yeah.
particular shot that I want to focus on
Yeah.
that somebody pointed out on Twitter actually the day of. I did want to go back to the spinoff for a second, because if it is airing in 2020, it probably will be taking place during that TWD season 10 mid-season break. You've got those. I mean, you've got those 8 weeks. I mean, at least 8 weeks
Well,
leading
they
up to.
usually go on hiatus in December.
But they're starting earlier this year. A
In
little bit
2020,
earlier.
they're starting earlier?
So TWD season 10 is starting a couple weeks earlier than normal. Basically, you will not be getting a break from Fear the Walking Dead season 5 and TWD season 10. You will be going
No, they
straight
started
in.
the last time, same time last year. It was the same weekend as Comic-Con.
I think it's October 6th or 7th.
That's right.
6th, yeah,
Six.
so
Yeah.
So
it's
you're
the
not
same
getting a
week
break.
as- no, it's the same weekend as New York Comic Con.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
what they did last year too.
Which is
I like
probably,
that we're not getting a break.
I don't. Because, I mean, it makes it a little harder to do giveaways, and I've wanted to do a couple of things, like a couple of blog releases, a couple of this and that's, in between the seasons. I mean, it gives us a chance to actually change our designs, because now I have to work on like the TWD season 10 designs during Fear the Walking Dead season 5. 5, yeah. So, because the new colors are definitely going to be the kind of charcoal black background and the red lettering, which is interesting because that's like kind of like our original logo. So it's kind of like going back to the beginning, except instead of a white background, it's just like a charcoal black. And who doesn't like that, by the way, as a design, as a color concept?
Which kind of teases the fire element once again.
Yeah, a little bit. But the logo is gonna. Well, I mean, our logo, but their logo is their key art is the whole the katana, the X basically. Somebody said it was an arrow, but when I looked at it closer, it didn't look like an arrow. So there was definitely the katana. But
I have a hard time like figuring out what that other like
it looked like a
element
stick.
is.
I thought it was a pike
Oh yeah, well that makes more sense.
because it's our group versus.
That,
Oh yeah.
That's a good.
That
That's a
would
good
make
point.
sense.
That's what it be. Then that's what it be. I'll go with that. Good call. No, but and going back to Sydney Park, and No Sanctuary was saying like they were scheduling conflict, so that's why she couldn't show up in season 9. Sorry, but I just find it interesting that they're using her again as, and whereas like Rachel, who was previously played by Mimi Kirkland, is now being played by Avian Meyer. Because Rachel, she was a kid, and she was the one that was giving the middle finger to Tara.
Yeah.
She's played by an older version of herself now. So Sydney Park, she's like still kind of like late, like was it like early 20s now? She's being
Probably.
expected to play like somebody who's in her mid to late 20s now, like almost 30 probably. So I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with her, but I mean, they're gonna kind of have to figure out where. I mean, when Rachel was on screen in season 9, I think she did allude to Cindy being there. I'm not 100% certain. Maybe somebody can confirm.
I know they made.
No,
a
I think you're
comment
right.
about her.
Yeah, during the signing, when they were signing,
Mhm.
she made a comment about why Cindy wasn't there or where she was. Yeah,
Yeah,
I do remember a
something
comment
like
being
that.
made.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. I would have to go back to the coverage when we covered it, but I'm not 100% certain, which makes me think like they left it open just in case. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because they had to reference it somehow. Because when you see Rachel signing it, not Cindy, everybody was like, "Well, why?" So they had to make comments.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially since
It's the same when they ever mentioned Maggie, because everybody's like, "Where's Maggie?" So they had to reference why Maggie left during the 6-year jump.
right, and so they just kind of left again that open. Like we haven't heard from her in a month or something like that. which kind of brings me to like, and I kind of forgot what I was going to say, but that's okay because it's not important. Moving along. I do want to bring this up now because I want people to watch out for it, and I think I will switch to screen grab. So let me just see where we're at. Let's go to, let me start sharing screen first. And let me go full screen on the image. And here we go. Okay. I don't know.
Is that who I think it is?
Okay, there we go.
Dante.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Now, this is from the comic book, right?
Yeah.
In the trailer, you do get an impression that this guy may be Dante. Now, what I wanted to do, and I just kind of brain farted, and I should have told you to do this, Carroll, is find out who this motherfucker is.
That was my note. I thought he could be Dante too.
Yeah.
There's definitely a resemblance there. Yeah.
Now,
I could find out who that guy is.
I didn't see anything from T Walking D World, but I who would find this out. He's been really, I mean, or he or she, I don't know. I'll have to find out. Maybe I'll get him on the show someday. But like, they've been like pointing out background actors that I had never even heard of, and I'm like friends with all. Chris, you're probably friends with all of them. Some I've never probably even heard of, but like, T Walking D World was pointing people out that I'd never heard of before, and like, so I would think they would have the goods on this. This is actually from at Walker Talker 222. I just like that they packaged it this way. So we'll be seeing this also in the trailer too. So let me just stop the screen share. Switch back over to camera 2. Okay, and that's really it for me in terms of news. Let me just go back to here. Actually, I have one more thing. The Walking Dead will air a very special Fear the Walking Dead special on 8/11. So there you go. There's that. We mentioned that already. So yeah, hook up your DVRs. Like your DVRs will not record this unless you schedule it. So do that. Make sure you do that now, or not now. Wait until after the broadcast. And now, without further ado, we are going to be live watching the trailers and then just pointing shit out randomly.
Screaming. Rachel and I are ready to start screaming.
Who's adjusting their chairs right now? Let me go to the comments first. I just want to see if there's any here. Like, just hold me closer, Tiny Danza. From No Sanctuary. Actually, so No Sanctuary saying, wasn't 2019 the first release date for the first Rick Grimes movie? I'm like, no, there is no official release date. Specifically
they haven't
because
even started filming yet.
Yeah, they haven't even started filming. If they start filming from now, by the way, it will not be done until like a year and a half later. You got to consider a couple things. Principal photography is going to be taking at least 6 months. Well, no, it could take shorter, but typically like about 6 months.
They can probably squeeze it into 4. Like if they go hard.
See, that's the thing. That's another thing I wanted to talk about, and I kind of forgot. I think people are assuming that there are going to be 3 feature film movies. I'm not 100% convinced of that. Yeah. I think they're going to want to bang out maybe a one that has an intermission in it. Who did that recently? It was a Marvel movie, wasn't it?
No, they were thinking about doing it for Marvel, but they never did.
Infinity War, right?
Well, Endgame and Infinity War were supposed to be all in one, but then like all these movies do it. Hunger Games did it. Harry Potter, Twilight, they all split the last one into 2.
Simpsons did it. Sorry, just when you said did it, I just want to say Simpsons did it. But I would bet on the fact that they would do they don't have to do an intermission. Like it would be like a 4-hour movie. But like I just see that as being the case. They will like follow in the tracks of.
I think they're gonna do 3 actual ones because think about how much profit that's gonna make. That's more profit than if you did 1 4-hour.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it would be more profitable to get them in the theaters. Mm-hmm. But don't you think... Now, I don't know if this is something people would think about, because if they're already... there's already a number of even hardcore fans, like, revolting over the fact that they have to go for even one. That's kind of a point to not do that.
I just hope they don't take the route that the Divergent series did, and how the final movie was supposed to be on TV, and we never got it because the cast was like, "No, we signed on to do a movie, not a TV movie," and it never got made.
When was this? When was this released?
That was the Divergent series.
Oh.
It was the final movie. It was supposed to be in theaters, and they were like, "No, we're gonna make it a TV movie."
Was that confirmed by the studios that they were gonna do that?
Dude, just do research. I can talk about this for like an hour easily, so I'm not even gonna waste your time.
Damn.
Well,
Totally left it open ended.
Well, then don't.
We never got our answers.
Do your research.
Yeah,
come talk to me.
Punk ass bitch.
Hey, I told Chris to bring his A game, so I'm gonna tell you now. Bring your A game.
Yo, are you sleeping?
I am not even. I told you I didn't even do. I didn't do anything for this show.
Chris has been like this for the past hour.
Like this is it. This is the best.
I was looking on my phone trying to dig up. I sent you something. You be quiet, you.
Hey, I messaged you back.
You're a character, aren't you?
Already. Listen. This is why him and I have never done a show together.
Is that why?
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, No Sanctuary is like it's kind of like what happened to the Percy Jackson movies. We never got an ending to the movies, and thank goodness.
There you go.
I'm just gonna say that much. I actually watched the first Percy Jackson movie. I was like,
yeah, that one was really bad.
I mean, an A for like effort. I will say that much. They put a lot of production and like thought into it. It just something about it was just not clicking with me. Like, I gave it a chance. I really did. He's also asking, have we seen the trailer? Yeah, I've seen it a lot. It's like 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
But more time when the dissolves and they do the actual.
But we're gonna do that now, actually, too. Let me just do this. And
wait, we're doing the movie first.
We're gonna do it in this order. We're gonna be saving the movie for after the Fear the Walking Dead 5B trailer, and then we're gonna be saving The Walking Dead for last because that's gonna be the meat and potatoes. Because I want to end on that. That's gonna waste all of our energy, and then we'll say good night. Fuck you. It's time for sleep. Let me just see how much time we have left.
Oh my God, it's time for sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is. Oof.
It's. Yeah, so we're already at 1.
5 o'clock's gonna come quick.
Yeah, no shit. So
I'm on vacation now, so I don't care.
Oh, you may be on vacation, but I'm like a collective of 5 hours of sleep across 3 days.
I had like no sleep last night, but
oh man! By the way,
that started at 3:30 today.
That's what took me a little bit longer to get on the stream, and that's why I scheduled the stream a little later than usual. Because I literally, when I got into the door like 9 o'clock, I just started passing out, and then I passed out, and it was like 9:20. I'm like, oh, I feel like an asshole. Okay, so let's start breaking down the 5B trailer for Fear the Walking Dead, and hold on. I will switch to screen share,